Hello and welcome to the ChessMate-ink channel. In this lesson, we'll learn how the king moves and how it captures pieces. The king is the most valuable piece in the game. If you lose it, the game is over. That's why it's so important to understand it well and protect it properly. How does the king move? Actually, the king's movement is quite simple. The king can move only one square: up, down, left, right, or diagonally. The king looks like a heavy piece, which is why it moves slowly. The queen, on the other hand, has a more athletic figure. It can move long distances in any straight or diagonal direction. But the king can only step to the squares surrounding it. The king's possible moves are one square up, one square down, one to the right, left, or diagonally in any direction. The highlighted squares show the areas the king can reach. But if one of your own pieces is on that square, the king cannot move there. Now, let's see how the king captures. If there's an opponent's piece on the square it moves to, the king can capture it. However, there's a special rule for the king. It cannot move to a square that is under attack. We'll explain this in more detail in later lessons. Like every other piece, the king captures by moving to the square of the opponent's piece. For example, let's place a knight, a bishop, and a pawn next to it. The king can capture any of these pieces within one square. It captures the pawn. The pawn is removed from the board. It captures the bishop. The bishop is removed. It captures the knight. The knight is removed. Now, let's do a small capture exercise. The starting position is a king surrounded by pawns. Our goal is to capture one pawn per move. As we know, the king can only move one step at a time. Unlike the queen, it cannot capture from afar. It must advance step by step. Let's capture the pawns one by one. First, the pawn on the right, then the one above, and so on. Normally, in this exercise, white and black take turns. But here, for training purposes, white plays every move. Now you know how the king moves and captures. Remember, the king is the most important piece in chess, but even it needs protection. And in life, remember this too. True strength comes from those who stand by your side. In the next lesson, we'll learn how the pawn moves. To continue, go to the next video, and don't forget to subscribe to get better at chess. ChessMate-ink wishes you days full of chess.